On today's show, we'll be talking about the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement and what it has to do with the aspiring entrepreneur. This is the Young Diplomats TV show on Universal TV Africa. My name is Valentina Uchebu. We have young leaders in the audience that are ready to dive into the conversations. And we also have a seasoned expert to bring more enlightenment to our topic today. We'll see you after the break. This is the Young Diplomats TV show, the ultimate platform for young African leaders to share ideas, inspire change, and shape the continent's future. Join us on the journey with seasoned diplomats, thought leaders, innovators, and change makers.
So our role in Africa now is to ensure that we've come together as one, that we have a game to play.
We are not separated.
They think they know better than us.
I've been let down so many times.
Africa has a robust history.
For every time you meet a brick wall, try again.
Welcome back to the show. My name is Valentina Uchebu, and this is the Young Diplomats TV show on Universal TV Africa. With me, I have my young guests in the house. I have Mufida, I have Ase, David, Samuel, and Sharif. You're welcome to the show. We have in the house Mr. Philemon Ajekuko. He's the director of the Research Center for Development and Corporate Responsibility. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Going right in, this is something that a lot of people are not aware of. I would want you to enlighten us about what the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is about.
Well, let's just simply call it AFTA.
Okay.
It's like the European Union. It's a trade agreement involving so many countries. So currently we have the European Union, we have the North American Trade Agreement. Now we have the African Trade Agreement, which we call NAFTA. It is big because it is the most comprehensive trade agreement on the planet right now. We have about 55 countries involved, almost all the African countries involved. What is the big idea? Over the years, most African countries, if not all, have always had trade relationship with other parts of the world. They are not trading amongst themselves. By some record, we have about, of the total trade data, just about 17% takes place amongst African countries. So what I mean by that is, if the total number of trades that African countries are involved in, if you put it at 100, only 17% takes place among African countries, which means most of the money we make here, we are spending it outside the continent. That's just what it means. So what the idea is about is, it is time to domesticate our trades. That is, we need to trade amongst ourselves. And for that to happen, you have to have a trade agreement. That was why that trade agreement came in sometime, discussion started around 2018. And by 2020, a lot of the countries have come on board. And then 2021, January, it was kick-started. So here we are in 2024. It's something that will take a long time because a lot of negotiations will have to go into place. Just having the agreement itself was tough. But now that the agreement has to be domiciled in each of the countries that are signatories to the agreement, what that means is that you have the agreement as like a ground norm, right? Like the big umbrella. Then you have to break that agreement down to suit every country that is a member of that agreement. Again, there has to be some equilibrium in terms of the workings of the laws and the regulations that will govern the agreement. That is to say that if you have Nigeria, for instance, Nigeria has its own trade laws, right? The same thing applies to Ghana, the same thing applies to Gambia and all other countries. But when you come under that big umbrella of trade agreement, there has to be a synchronization just like you have in Europe. So if you are a European person and you want to trade, let's say you are in Germany and you want to trade with United Kingdom, or you want to trade with Switzerland, the standard has to be the same thing, so that you don't have any problem moving your goods or services from say Germany to Switzerland, and then if you want to move your goods or services to let's say France, you start scrambling. What's the law in France like? No, it's not going to be like that. So there has to be a reconciliation of the internal laws alongside the provisions of the agreement. That's just what it is all about. But for Africans like us, it's a big deal. And why do we say it's a big deal?
Yes.
Why do we say it's a big deal? The African market is about 1.3 billion people. Okay, that's the equivalent of, say, the population of India or the population of China. In monetary terms, it is worth about $3.4 trillion. What that means is that you, as an entrepreneur in Nigeria, you have a product or you have a service, and you are looking at a market. You are no longer looking at the Nigerian market, which is about maybe 200 million people. The entire African continent is now your market. So it is big. What that means is that there's a lot of money on the table for people who are innovative, for young entrepreneurs like you, who are innovative, who want to pick money from the table, as they say. You have a lot to look forward to. And let me tell you one more thing. Most of the advanced countries of today have plateaued in terms of economic growth, right? China, let's say France or Germany cannot do like 10% or 15% or whatever. It's almost practically impossible, except they do something really crazy. So the entire world today is looking at Africa as the next frontier of growth. And where will that growth come from? It will come from trade, because trade drives economic activities. Economic activities drive industrialization, and that is where you're coming.
Thank you. Very, very enlightening. You know, Africa is seen as a consuming continent.
That's right.
You know, so is this trade agreement going to encourage? Yes, our conversation today has to do with the after and the aspiring entrepreneur. So do you think the exposure to this trade agreement would encourage, you know, Africa to move from a consuming continent to a producing continent?
I think that is the big idea, to move the continent from consumption to production. Now, if you look at the trajectory of industrialization, everybody starts from consumption. So that is given. Yeah. But you have to grow your economy from that level, yes. Right? Yes. The European country you are talking about today, they started by trading in agricultural products, exporting cotton and what have you all over the place. So for us in Africa, we have lingered very, very long at that level of consumption. So with a trade agreement, there's a big push towards industrialization. And there's what we call exogenous model of industrialization. What that means is that you look at what your fellow countries are doing and you copy. So if, for instance, Nigeria has been doing extremely well with industrialization, other countries would follow suit. Because if Nigeria is producing and exporting, and you can see the data, as a result of that, they're getting foreign exchange, they're building their schools, they're building their industries, they're building their roads, they're building their infrastructure. Automatically, others will see that is a good thing, working. That it is working. So the ultimate thing for this trade agreement is not just export of goods and services. Yes. It is actually industrialization.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. So for the young leaders here, what did you know about AFTA? And what did you think it was about? And how do you think it's working? Is it too slow? We all know that it started by 2018. Is it too slow? You know, are people aware? Were you aware Essie, can you give us insight on?
Okay, I've always known about AFTA, and last month I was privileged to attend an international aviation conference, and there they talked about it fully. His airline was passing the airspace of a francophone country. He had to pay oversight charges. It's being implemented at a slow pace, so we need to hasten it if it's possible, because I can't imagine my own nation, my own Africa, I have to pay to use the airspace when I'm not flying to France or something. So for me, it's slow.
Yeah. Sheriff, as a young leader, do you think the AFTA is adding value? Is it something that is going to be embraced? Because we already know that African countries, the walls are up. We can't even deny that. And these are the things that we need to really, work on to have that economic integration. What do you think about the AFTA?
Yeah, I think it's something that is going to really be embraced, because even in the recent visitation of Mr. President, that's the President of Nigeria, to South Africa, him and the President of South Africa were having talk about the exchange of lithium for electric cars in South Africa, where they give us electric cars and we give them some lithium to, produce some batteries over there. Part of those batteries are those batteries that will be used to power the electric cars, and they give us electric cars in return. So you see, if the AFTA laws and everything are being, passed and it's well settled between the African countries, it's going to drive economic growth.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to go on a short break and we'll continue our critical conversations. We'll be right back. This is the Young Diplomats TV show, the ultimate platform for young African leaders to share ideas, inspire change, and shape the continent's future. Join us on the journey with seasoned diplomats, thought leaders, innovators, and change makers.
So our role in Africa now is to ensure that we've come together as one, that we have a game to play.
We are not separated.
They think they know better than us.
I've been let down so many times.
Africa has a robust history. For every time you meet a brick wall, try again.
You're welcome back to the show. This is the Young Diplomats TV show on Universal TV Africa. My name remains Valentina Uchebu, and we have a seasoned guest here. Our topic today is on the Africa Continental Free Trade Zone Agreement and the aspiring entrepreneur. So, sir, what opportunities do you think the AFTA presents for young entrepreneurs in Africa?
A whole lot. I mentioned a little bit about it earlier. Let's say you are developing an application for financial transaction in Nigeria. Your market is no longer Nigeria. Your market is Ghana. Your market is Cote d'Ivoire. Sure. Your market is Gambia. Just name it. As a young entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, when you are developing a product, there's what we call business persona. Your business persona is no longer the Nigerian person. It's the African person. So you must understand, what is it that is going on in Cote d'Ivoire? What kind of product do they need there? What is it that is going on in Ghana? What kind of product do they need there? So as a young person, and thank God for technology, you don't have to travel to meet anybody these days. You need to talk to your fellow young people across the continent. You need to develop partnership. That partnership that will make it possible for you to get into the market of any of the countries in Africa. That is the opportunities that is open. That's the opportunity that is open to you right now, and you have to take advantage of it.
Yes. Thank you very much. So, Samuel, so what opportunities do you think AFTA presents to you? Because of course every young person is looking for that blue-collar job, but then there are so many opportunities there. They say unemployment is high in all over the world anyway, not just Nigeria or Africa. But then, is it really high? So what does AFTA mean to you? And let's say you're an aspiring entrepreneur.
So the fact that there are a lot of people in Nigeria who have those skills and who have the ability to do that, AFTA just opens up a whole new world for them to express themselves and to also make a profit, because that's the whole point of trade, for them to make profit. And when you spoke about unemployment, if as this AfTA opens up these opportunities for those people able to have those, able to market those skills, if you open it up for them, that provides employment for them. It provides a means of living for them. So if it's properly managed and it's properly looked at, the unemployment rate in different countries, different African countries, will greatly reduce due to this fact.
Thank you very much. David, what do you think, can make this process faster? Because if this AfTA is in place, if more countries have started implementing, I'm sure we wouldn't be having this kind of issues. This issue of what's called single passport will not be dragging. It will be something that will be easily embraced because people would have already started, moving about. So what do you think about that? Why is there a delay, and what can be done to hasten it?
Well, I would say that one of the things that I believe, first of all, that is actually causing a delay is still this cultural barrier that we have in Africa. And then again, we have this African mindset. I have realized that we have it in Africa, whereby an African man of Nigeria now still wants to feel superior in a certain way to a man of South Africa or Ghana or the likes, and they want their country to emerge on top. So I think until we can actually trash or put aside that mentality of diversification and superiority, we will not achieve much.
Wow, thank you very much. It sounds like a simple answer, but it's very deep. It's
nationalistic feelings.
Yes.
That's what it's talking about.
Yes. What does AfTA mean to an entrepreneur, a young person like you? Because I'm sure you have something you're doing, well, not just buying and selling, there's so many things to do outside this office job, as an entrepreneur. You can sell services, So what does AfTA mean to you as an entrepreneur? Mufida, thank you.
Yeah, so I think AfTA has the potential to really, really help in the business sector in Africa as a whole. Like, for example, if I have a business and I'm able to incorporate AfTA, I can not only just give a job to myself, but I can help expand my business, which will help other entrepreneurs that are maybe into what I'm doing, can help us expand and have job opportunities for those people too. So definitely, AfTA is definitely something that has the potential to help eradicate unemployment.
All right, so it's very important for the young ones to get enlightened, to know what AfTA is about and to know how to key in. Thank you very much. Thank you for your contributions. So, sir, what role should the private sector play in this agreement?
Well, in any economy, anywhere in the world, it's the private sector that drives the business. The government, but before you get to the private sector, the government has to do its own bit. It's the government that will provide the infrastructure. We have passed that
environment.
Yes, we have passed that level of economic growth or development where the private sector did that. That was in the 60s when individuals built the railway, the airports, and the roads. Today, the biggest mover of any economic development is government. You can't run away from that. So the government needs to build infrastructure. The government needs to provide the facilities that will give entrepreneurs or the private sector energy, power. Energy could be petrol, it could be diesel, it could be gas. You need all of that infrastructure in place. Once those infrastructure are in place, then the private sector moves in. The private sector is the guy that will put all the threads together. The private sector person is the one that will kickstart the business. as young entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs and part of the private sector, you must put up your thinking hat. I think it's the South Korea that say good thinking, good product. Right.
Yes.
So you look at Nigeria. What is it that is lacking here? You go into the business. You look at Gambia. What is it that the Gambians need? You go into the business. The same thing with South Africa or any other country that you find yourself. It is incumbent on the private sector to drive the economy once the government has done its own bit. But if government has done what it needs to do, then you must ask yourself, what should I do to add value to what government has done?
Yeah.
That is the role of the private sector.
Thank you very much. This will lead to my next question, and I would direct this same question to Samuel. How do you think the private sector will be able to thrive, let's say, in an economy like Nigeria, where, okay, well, it's what everybody thinks, the government is lacking, you know. So you're growing into this kind of system. What changes can you come up with? What do you hope to see, and what do you think can be done?
The thing about a problem is that for every problem, there's a solution.
Sure.
Now, so if there's a problem in government, where government is not properly developed or is not properly helping out the country in certain ways, it now falls onto the people in that country to rise up and sell themselves out so as to develop that country. Before, we didn't have a refinery, crude oil refinery. Dangote came out. He's in private sector. He said, I'll give you a refinery. Government goes to meet Dangote for help in refining crude oil. That's private sector. So whatever lapses there are in government, it provides opportunities for the private sector to now bloom, to show out what we have to offer.
Yeah.
To better out our country.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's been an amazing show. We've had wonderful conversations, and I believe that minds are opened, because if our young leaders are thinking in this direction, then I'm sure we have a clear path.
I have a question. It's actually regarding the language barrier. You said something about cultural barrier, but I didn't hear anything about language. We have like 2,000 different indigenous language in Africa. So I want to know, and not all of us speak English. So I want to know, is there a way we can help to get rid of the barrier, or is there something that is already being done?
When you speak the same language, it helps, but you don't necessarily have to speak the same language. The best solution to that is technology. Technology speaks all languages. In fact, right now, things have even got way beyond the fear that you are exercising. I can chat with a French person right now. There are applications I can use to chat with a French person in real time. It will be translated into French.
Right.
Whether you want to use chat or whether you want to speak, you could speak, and a French person at the other side, you speak in English. The person at the other side is listening to you in French. And when he speaks French, you hear in English. So I don't think that's a barrier at all. It hasn't. The Europeans came to do business with us. They didn't know our language, but they did business with us.
True.
It's about money. Money speaks all languages.
Yes.
Okay.
Right,
thank you, sir. I really want you to please elaborate or give a brief understanding from your view. Talking of after, now, how do we tend to make this happen if there is a break in governance from a particular country, and maybe the new person who emerges as the head of the nation, the president, is not willing to continue the already signed agreement or conversation or whatever transaction they were having with the previous country? How can we bridge the gap?
I think that the major thing is for countries to be committed. Once you have a good number of countries that are committed, that will drive the business. When people who are laggards, so to speak, begin to see the fruitage that is being reaped, then they will think twice. and say, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why can't we do, their own people will begin to ask them, wait a minute, there's electricity here, there is investment here, people are pouring money into this country. Why are they not coming here? You begin to demand for accountability. That is the way we need to go. That is why I keep telling you people, do not exercise any form of fear when you are going into business. Business is a risk, and the risk has reward. Some businesses will fail, just as some countries will fail. There's a book called Why Do Countries Fail? Countries fail, businesses fail. But as an entrepreneur, you are looking at the promised land, and your resolve is to get to the promised land.
Okay, so my question is, how can public-private partnerships benefit from the implementation of AFTA?
That's a very good question. There has to be what we call in technology a handshake. The reason why agreement fail, most of the time, the reason why it fails is because that handshake is not there. The government is the one that goes out to sign agreements. It is not the private sector that goes out to sign. So once, as a country, you have committed yourself to an agreement, there are rewards in that agreement. So when you come back as the president of a country, you need to start talking to your people. We have gone to this place, we have signed this agreement. These are the things that we can benefit from this agreement. There is a book on the guy that runs United Arab Emirates. Every Nigerian should go and read that book. You see a president who takes charge. It is incumbent upon you as the president to monitor that person. Once you are able to get the minister to do what he's supposed to do, I tell you, the private sector is like a magnet. Or it's like a moth that is attracted to light. Once there is light, the moth will go. You don't have to beg the moth. You understand what I mean? Yeah, you don't have to beg the moth to come. The moth knows there's a light here, and the moth will go there. So once the government gets this right, the private sector will move. It's almost like a given.
Dubai is an amazing case study,
it is.
You know, and they had a goal in mind.
Yes.
They wanted to have the tallest building. They wanted to have the largest mall.
Right.
You know, they always had that as their focus. So I think what will also drive an economy, not just a business, is to have the vision, mission, and that goal they want to get to.
And let me also
to bring
add,
direction.
Yes, and then let me also add, all over the world, there are institutions that are pouring knowledge into the internet. Yeah. I tell you, the internet is your best friend. Make the internet your best friend. And when you go there, please be selective as to what you follow and what you learn. But if you learn, you can see. I met somebody yesterday who studied blockchain all by himself. He's in Nigeria, a young person like you, young people like you. He studied blockchain all by himself. So it's possible, as is it the Indians say? It's possible.
We've come to the end of the show. Thank you very much to our young leaders in the house. Your contributions have been amazing and enlightening. Thank you, sir, for opening our minds to understand these terms. You know, all this we've been talking about, the buzz about the AFTA. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
This is the Young Diplomats TV show on the Universal TV Africa. My name is Valentina Uchebu, and we have been having critical conversations. Stay tuned. Next week, we're going to have more conversations. Thank you.